Welcome back, folks. Tim Hyde, old Goolsby over here, the Mike Goolsby Show, coming to you live Sunday night off the back of a win, Tim. Nice to get a win under your belt, start building a little bit of momentum. We're going to go for about an hour here. Before we get started, do the thing, hit like, subscribe. We're really trying to grow this thing. Tim and I are both very competitive guys. Like to get those views up. Maybe top 11 grand, which we had last weekend. So, yeah. Tim, 56-30 win. We're going to try to stay. We got 4 kind of loose topics tonight. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about defense. There's a lot of questions that need to get answered. We'll jump into the film on Patreon to try to find some of those for you. But let's kick the show off focusing on offense, talk about the balance, talk about the game plan, talk about the level of comfort that a CJ Carr has displayed for a third time now, and Jeremiah Love going over 100 yards. Nice game plan for Denbrock.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's do our 2-minute token talk on O and then jump into what everyone cares about.
So, yeah, we're just going to check that box offensively, sure.
Exactly. We're going to get that thing out of the way real quick. Hey, offense, good job. See ya. But no, obviously solid. Which in the grand scheme of things, man, it's they need to do this every week, which is scary as hell. I don't want to get into the other topics right away, but you feel like watching the offense, especially the last couple of weeks, even the second half, once they got down, 21-7 to Miami, just the way they just said, shit, let's go. And they just started clicking in, started playing some football. And ever since then, right? Ever since that 21-7, that offense is awake and they're rolling right now. They've been playing great football since that Miami point all the way on. So they got to carry that. And that's something I was thinking about all day today. People want to talk about defense, the improvements, what's going to happen. All I'm thinking about is offense, man. You got to keep this thing going. Seriously, you have to be on your game. Denbrock's got to be dialed in, ready to roll. Carr's had a turnover in every single game. We'll try and limit that next week, obviously, at Arkansas. But just keep getting better. My favorite part of the game was they ran duo for the first time. They went downhill and attacked the heck out of Purdue and just started playing some physical football. Really liking what they're doing with Washington and Eli together out there. That's been good. That's been good to see. And then the play action pass to start the game, and they did a handful more during the game, so that was nice. And it was a Purdue get right type of a performance, but at the same time, it was clean. Outside of the ridiculous, sack that Knapp gave up, and we could dive into that later. It's all on him. I thought everything else was, the protection, everything looked solid as could be. But CJ Carr is exciting. He's exciting. And then obviously those 2 running backs are awesome. You just got to keep feeding them. And that's, I think, what Denbrock has done, right? Doesn't it? The last 2 games, these guys are getting it 30 times combined. And I think that's what he realizes. I got these 2. I got Eli, Fields, toss it to someone else every once in a while. Underneath we've talked about with Faison, Pauling, whatever Greathouse is going to do this year. But it's the 2 backs, Eli, Malachi Fields. Those are the 4 offensive weapons, and they're going to get the 90% of the touches this year.
Yeah, and there was a couple of adjustments in the run game. To kick the game off, first drive, we went pistol, right? So that was unconventional from what you typically see out of our initial formation alignment, where you've got a Jeremiah Love side by side. So that pistol look, it just kind of gives that defense a different viewpoint, a different perspective as it comes to that downhill play action. So that was a nice little tweak that kind of went under the radar. But overall, and I tweeted about this, it was FanDuel or one of these betting sites. I think the total yardage over under rushing yards for Jeremiah Love this game was like 100, 101. And I tweeted it was free money. And going back to watching that offensive film on Patreon with Coach Clark in the Texas A&M game, Tim, brother, if Jeremiah, he has a tendency, he's wanting to do the most, right? He's wanting to win a Heisman Trophy, wanting to go top 10, top 15, and nobody blames him for that. But on some of those runs against Texas A&M, if he just stayed on track and hit that son of a buck downhill, it's a score. And you really saw that this past weekend against Purdue. Obviously a lesser opponent in terms of overall talent, but that was really refreshing to see, as just Jeremiah as well as Darian pin their ears back and just hammer that thing, dude.
No, that's a great. I mean, I even go back to the Miami game. There's one power they run where everyone's blocked it up perfect. The pull, everything, the tight end, blah blah blah. And I'm a huge. Great running games are the running. It's all about the running back winning the one-on-one. And he's got a one-on-one with the Miami corner out there, and he cuts it inside. It's only a 3-yard run. Yet it's perfectly blocked. Had he just bounced it, he's gone for 60. So you're right. And then the one I know you tweeted about, the little shoestring where, Wagner's bouncing off guys. It's like, dude, just stay on one guy. But he sees the flash. He's trying to help Jeremiah. That guy gets his shoestring. If not, that's a walk-in touchdown. There's no one out there. He's gone.
Yeah.
So Love's had a few of those, and obviously Purdue, he's able to break it, and then the great bounce run. That's what I'm talking about. Everything was blocked on that duo run play, and he just bounce, boom. Beats 3 straight DBs to the edge and touchdown. So, yeah, Love's a stud. Just keep feeding him, and you feel like they're just – it's – On offense, they're going to start doing this more and more. They know what their strengths are, and they're going to get after it.
And it's interesting too, because there's some chatter on Twitter. That's where I kind of try to get a pulse of what fans are thinking. And during the game, brother, I'm working, tweeting my butt off. But who's the better back? Like, there's a little bit of chatter. Like, maybe Jadarian Price is better than Jeremiah Love. Yeah. Listen. The way Jadarian's playing, and it's specific, talent-wise, Jeremiah is very unique. He's incredibly gifted, so explosive. But the timing on the runs, it's like Jadarian almost has a better feel for letting it kind of develop versus, again, Jeremiah has that pressure on him. He's almost trying to do too much too quickly. And he's shot out of a cannon. It's almost like you want Jeremiah to take another. Can we snap the ball an extra yard deep?
Put him back 9 yards. Exactly. Put him at 9 yards. So he's got to let that stuff develop. Well, that's the A&M game, right? He bounces 2 against A&M in the Wildcat. It's like, buddy, go straight ahead, follow your blocks, and you got first downs, if not more. And he tried bouncing it and obviously got tackled on 2 of them. So, but no, they're both so talented. Price has a really good feel. Price loves to bounce it, man. You give him an inch, he's taking it. He's a bounce guy, and which is weird because Love will run. Love goes downhill better than Price does. He just does. You look at Price's runs, man. He's a bouncer. He gets that thing. He feels it. He could cut really good out there. Love will run you over. He just will. That's every time I watch. He just reminds me so much. I'm a huge. Growing up in the old days, Eric Dickerson. He's my favorite running back of all time. I just loved Eric. Growing up in LA with the Rams, and John Robinson, man, just pitching him that ball. And Jeremiah Love reminds me of him, that tall, bigger back. If Love was playing in the 80s, man, he would have those giant shoulder pads, 3 feet off of his shoulders, just carrying that thing with a neck roll. You could easily see Jeremiah Love doing that, but they're talented. They're talented. Those 2 guys are going to have to win the Arkansas game without a doubt in that thing.
Yeah. They struggle stopping the run. Hey, before we move on to defense, right? That's why everybody's here. Can we spend a minute talking about the usage with Jaden Greathouse? Do you have any strong thoughts on that?
No, I'll be honest with you. I know that's a huge topic because of seriously, just the last 2 games last year, Penn State, Ohio State. He was, I've never seen him as this All-American that people are talking about. People are talking about him NFL draft, for crying out loud, after those 2 games. So I've never seen it. It doesn't bother me because I like the way Denbrock's really starting to get a feel for how to use the tight end, Washington, the Arkansas guy. So he's getting a good feel on him. You saw them playing. He's playing slot and with motion in. Obviously to give him some of the, they love that double wing type look. They did a lot of that obviously against A&M. Had really good success. it's funny. I mean, Ben Brock wants to do all this spread stuff, but then when he goes 12 and he's motioning with 12 personnel with those guys, that's probably their best stuff because he's able to play action, max protect, help out Carr a little bit. Obviously, in the run game, those were their better runs against A&M. But they had those two guys in there, plugging up the gut last week. So it's not, to me, it's not a big deal because as I said to start the show, you're two backs. And if I'm passing the football, man, it's going to Eli or Fields. And if not, find someone underneath and dump it down, which they've done to Faison.
Yeah, and the thing is too that folks have to be open to the concept in terms of like what Denbrock prefers and maybe who's a better player. Faison, I'm looking at snap counts. Faison got 26 snaps, Jaden Greathouse 17. To your point about the tight end usage, which had to happen. I mean, the ask of Eli Raridan in that heat, in that humidity, week 1 against Miami was
crazy,
a little absurd. I mean,
yes, I agree.
You're asking him, he's running routes, he's coming back next play, having to block Ruben Bain, who is just an absolute monster. So in this game, 40 apiece. Washington 40 snaps, Eli 40 snaps. It's a nice balance. And again, you're trying to look back to the basis of the offense is your running backs. And again, you got to be open to the fact that like maybe Jordan Faison is a better player than Jaden Greathouse. You just have to be open. Look, he got loose, got a deep ball, playing field receiver this past week. So
yeah, no, but that's a good point. Real quick, I mean, Faison
he's more than just a gadget underneath guy.
He's more original, as we saw, and even going back to his first catch ever, the big deep over route against Louisville in 23. Faison can catch the ball down the field deep, right? Greathouse, I've never got that feeling like he can be a deep guy, a slot fade type of a guy. I don't know if we've ever really seen that from Greathouse. Obviously, he had the plays that were, the Penn State game, which was set up, that was schemed up for really nicely, and that great move he made. And then the broken tackle he had against Caleb Downs there in the alley when he broke that and scored. Great, obviously, catch against Ohio State. That's his one deep route he's probably caught. But other than that, I think, man, it just keeps going back to August where we felt like Greathouse, Faison, and Pauling were all three guys all together. How are you going to rotate those guys? Because you're not taking out Fields. He's just a stud. And Raridan is obviously an NFL-looking tight end when you look at him. So it's hard. It's hard not to go with the big bodies out there.
Will Pauling, one of your captains, 9 snaps, right? So I'm just telling you, in terms of Greathouse versus the usage of a Faison, right? People have their favorites. I totally get it. But I do think Faison is a little bit more special of a football player. And this is the thing, too, going back to the film, and it jumps out at you, Tim. Like when you actually watch the coach's copy and you could see the whole play develop, Faison is playing at a different tempo than Greathouse is most of the time. Whether it's blocking, he's just there's more of a try-hard factor. And hand to God, it really jumps out at you on tape. It just does.
No, I hear you. A couple guys in the chat, like someone said, Greathouse caught a deep route against Louisville. Yeah, that was just a seam right down the middle of the field. The Louisville touchdown there where he was wide open. And then obviously he did have one, someone wrote in there as well, a slot fade. Yeah, he's caught it's not his go-to thing, so to speak. So I'm of the huge opinion that Greathouse is just overly hyped, as are a lot of players on this Notre Dame team coming into 2025. So, there was so much talk in the offseason of a bunch of guys, oh man, they're going to have to, decisions to make after this year. So-and-so may be going pro early. And I'm like, they're juniors. That's not an NFL guy. Yet that was so much talk in the offseason. And I don't think, what juniors going pro this year? None, right? So, but that was a huge talking point after the Ohio State game moving in the offseason. I just don't see it. So, Greathouse, we'll see. He's solid. He had a hell of a catch against A&M. He's a very good wide receiver. I just don't know if he's this elite guy people have made him out to be. If he was, we would see more of that. When did you think by his third year?
Yeah, and runs good routes, has great catches, low drop rate. It's just when you talk about just top end speed, and I think Freeman said this in one of his preseason pressers was like, he'll make the contested catch. And he did say, he said he's not going to run by you, but he'll make the catch. And I think when you're looking at a Denbrock calling the plays, he's looking for just top end speed. So yeah, but no, great game by CJ Carr. This is exactly how you would draw it up offensively, offensive line, moving some people. I don't know how much we can glean from this game offensively overall, Tim, because it was Purdue. But like to your point earlier, it's a get right game. We'll take it. We'll take it. But I'm very impressed.
I'll say one thing real quick. Jay Carr says, love going pro. I don't even consider that a decision. So Love is like, we all know that, I'm talking about other juniors that have been extremely hyped in the media over the last 6 months. Love, we know that. So he's basically a 5th-year senior. He's out of here. We got that down. But I will say the best thing about this game to me is Goolsby Lambert. And I'm going to say it right now. For whatever reason, man, I am just love. I mean, I did a video the other night that I posted on Friday. I was just sitting down there in the basement. I was like, I'm going to make a video. And then boom, it just turned into a Goolsby Lambert love fest. Just watching him as a redshirt freshman doing things that he's never done before. And it just shows obviously coaching, development, all those things. And then you're like 2 years down the road, what's this guy going to look like? So I like the fact that I love that he stayed in the game for a long time. He played a couple series at right tackle. Obviously, the huge little hidden gem in this game was Knapp goes out, he's at left tackle, which tells you he's the next man in it at both right and left. That right there says all you need to know. Because Knapp obviously had a sprained ankle. He's only out that one play, but Rudolph and Freeman, they don't know if he's going to be out longer, especially when he was limping over there for a second. They wrapped his ankle. So Lambert is the third OT. So he's going to be the guy. Absher obviously will go inside. So I like that. I just love the fact that he played a couple series at right tackle to keep getting that rep, keep getting that work, because he's young. And sometimes you could take out those young guys in a blowout like that, and they're like, no, Goolsby, your butt's out there for 15 more snaps. And he's a lot of fun to watch right now. And
for the it's not even with an asterisk, but like he has great feet. You almost want to say for as big as he is, he has great feet, but he has great feet. He's got better feet than Wagner. There's no question about it in terms of overall movement. So kind of putting you on the spot, Tim. I think we all kind of feel the same way about Knapp. Heroic effort as a true freshman playing left tackle. Heroic, right? It's obvious to most, maybe, Tim, and you might push back that Knapp's playing out of position. He's such an ass kicker as a guard, playing in a tight play, like fighting in a phone booth. He's excellent. Yeah. Putting you on the spot. When Jagasaw comes back, and it's going to be sooner than later, what do you do with the offensive line? Who's subbing in? Who's subbing out, if anyone? What's going to happen?
Yeah, can I go on mute and give my answer? No, I'm joking. I don't know. I mean, hell, none of us know, but I'll tell you what, Goolsby Lambert should not come off the field. Easy as that. He should not come off the field. He is how would you take out a guy that size, the strength? In the video the other day that I posted, I'm just watching him and he's bending his knees at his size like an NFL dude right now. It's unbelievable. And it's like, and obviously how much he played the other day. Why it's like, man, you can't sit him. Billy Schroff has been a stud. He is by far and away the number one offensive lineman through 3 games. There's no debate about that. He legitimately is. He's having a hell of a year the way he's playing. Man, Gert, you can't take him out. You can't take him out. Me personally, after what I've seen this year, last year, Wagner, obviously, you are so correct. He's not a knee bender, but it's hard to replace all that, and he's a senior. I'm putting Charles at left tackle. I just would.
Okay.
I would put Charles at left tackle. Your center and left guard are set. I'm not touching Goolsby Lambert. So I am not touching him whatsoever. So Knapp has played a ton of football. It's interesting, when I've broken it down, some of the O-line stuff I've done, it's like, man, when he locks on, he's a stud. He really does. He's strong as hell. You could just see his strength when he locks onto people and just pushes them around. It's like, but at the same time, some of the pass pro stuff is, to me, it's maddening watching him because he really does have good feet. He really does. It's almost like he's just always trying to overthink things. It's like, dude, you're 6'4", 295 pounds. Let's say that. I mean, I know he's listed at 3, which means he's probably 292, right? But just do one good thing and just kick ass doing that thing the entire time. That's what I would do. But I would bet, me personally, Charles, you're going to left tackle. That's what I would do.
It's interesting because, and to your point about Knapp, and Jared's pointed this out going on film, going back to last year, in terms of Knapp and pass pro, it's like he's always waiting for an inside twist versus like, brother, go, bro. He's always like heavy hand inside. He's always waiting. He's hesitant to just fly into his pass set. But you make a great point. So the way that Tim Hyde would draw it up, you got Jagasaw at left tackle. There's obviously a precedent there.
Yes.
Shroud, you're not getting rid of him. Craig's played really well.
Yes.
Lambert's 330, 340 at right guard. And then you've got a captain, senior, and Wagner. So that in your world, Knapp's the odd man out. And then if you sit there and play it out, okay, well, let's kick Knapp to guard. I'm going through the exercise.
Sure.
You're not getting rid of Shrouth. So then we're going to take Goolsby, who's playing incredibly well off the field, right?
I'm not taking Lamb. I mean, that's my whole thing. After 3 games, obviously the 2 seniors in the middle, you're not touching. Goolsby's playing because of an injury, just as Knapp did last year with Charles, obviously. That's why he got on the field. Charles gets hurt, and it's a Tosh versus, Knapp battle, and Knapp wins that battle. Which, in my opinion, I've always thought, I mean, Baker could have played last year. They could have won games with Tosh Baker. I always felt they went with the youth. That was my breakdown. Hell, Tosh is here for 1 year. We like Knapp. He's really athletic. He's stronger than he looks, which obviously we've seen on film and in the run game. They just went with the freshman, and I think this year with Lambert, just the other size of that young man. It's like,
well, that's the whole thing.
Come out, and now you go Charles. Now you got 2 monsters in there, and you got 3 seniors. And the monsters,
you're going to lose if you don't put
Lambert.
If you don't play Jagasaw and Lambert, your 2 biggest, best athletes, and that's what I look for. I'm no O-line guru. I absolutely default to Coach Hyde over here. But to your point, bro, you're going to take 30, 40 pounds of athlete off the field to play Knapp. Now, Carlos Garza, and we got to get to, the fact I heard last night that Will Black's still at guard, and I spit my drink out. It's incomprehensible.
I will say just real quick on that, and I have some thoughts I'll share in an O-line video, but Will Black obviously has a lot of the hype. He didn't show up till summer. I think we learned a lot. You learn a lot in the 4th quarter in these blowouts. Matty Augustine is in before him. That just tells you a lot what they see of Augustine, obviously his talent, and Styles Prescott obviously is no stick in the mud. So
he moves really well. Yeah.
He moves really well. He was a big time recruit coming out as well. And he is just, it sounds like the backup left tackle right now. And we'll see what happens with Will Black. So
we're moving on to defense, but Carlos Garza dropped a comment a couple back where he was saying, do we really expect Rudolph to move Knapp around or to take him out of the lineup? He is his guy. And there's definitely, Jared, I think we've got a text group. We call it the Pirate Ship, all the Patreon people over there. And again, I'm always going to promote the Patreon. I'm proud of what we're doing, but Tim watches an incredible amount of film. And that was the big pull for him to come over here, was like, Tim was already doing that work in the dark, in the basement, editing film. So it's like, you want to know what's happening on the O-line? Here's a cut up of 3rd down pass pro. Here's a cut up of 1st down runs, etc. So it's all over there. But Carlos Garza, Knapp is Rudolph's guy. There's something going on there. Whereas, like, even obviously, you almost get our quarterback killed. The only turnover we had of the game, it's Knapp's fault. End of story. And yet we're putting it on our quarterback making his third start.
Yeah, you know what? And
There's something going on there.
But I hear
he's protected.
But I keep hearing this, and it's like, oh, he's got something on him, right? He's got the witness, protection out there, so Nap can't be taken out. But I'm like, but he recruited Goolsby Lambert. He recruited Will Black. These are his guys. He recruited Matty Augustine. He's recruited these guys. This is his third year, so he's going to play. I always feel the best guys that they are, and I'm a huge believer. Just coaching for as long as I have, it's like staffs meet, coaches meet, they communicate, they talk, they watch film together, they have comments together. All of these things. When Freeman's talked about Nap, man, Freeman's doing 3 backflips. He loves talking about the guy. I mean, he's commented on him before, just hyped up. So it's obviously not just one guy. It's the entire, it's the head football coach as well. But my point is if, Will Black is his guy. If Will Black was this ass-kicking stud out there, they would get him out there because that is his 5-star recruit last year, correct? So, it's always an interesting comment. I just like to look at the other side at times.
2 more thoughts. Yes.
Sure.
Whether you're talking about an Augustine, a Goolsby, a Will Black, just in terms of their physicality and their measurables, there's a certain archetype that we're going after, no different than what Coach Mickens looks for in the secondary in terms of length, et cetera, right? So that's just another head-scratching element on the insistence of playing Nap. But Tim, as a coach, last offensive thing, we're moving on to defense.
Hold on, and I want to talk about that sack in the comment about Jay Carr from Freeman. Let's do that for a minute too.
Go ahead.
But yeah, let's just dive into that real quick. That's because Freeman, I saw it in the comment. I know you and I have talked about it. It's like that. I found that fascinating because number one, okay, once again, I like to see what people say instead of just throw stuff against the wall and guess. Freeman saying, oh, he should have stepped up, looked at it. Great. Then coach him to call a timeout. That was my thing. If they're going to run all, seams at that time and try and go deep and Carr's trying to do that and he sees it's easy to see the safety walking up outside on the edge. So they're going to bring 6. The protection is perfect. Eli chips before he runs his route. Wagner and Goolsby pick their guy out. Ashton's got a guy head up. He blocks. Love's going to the overside, meaning where the blitz is coming from. Because obviously this is all communicated from Ashton to Billy. Jeremiah picks up the inside Mike blitz. Billy picks up Ashton's guy, Anthony's guy. Anthony just blocked the outside guy. That's all on one guy. There's no way in hell that's Carr's fault. And if Carr wasn't comfortable in that, call a timeout. Because you see him bringing 6, maybe you have a check down built into that call. So I just found that fascinating by Marcus Freeman basically saying Carr's got to do better. Hell no, the left tackle just blocked a freaking free safety for Christ's sake.
You could watch Nap's reaction.
I know.
He knows it.
He knows it. It goes back to your point. He's trying to overthink it. He's
always trying to protect the inside.
Yes.
Always.
And he was doing that there, but by Billy fanning out to the left, he's got a guy head up on him. You don't have to block that guy. Take the outside guy. Billy's got that. And it's a little DB. Get both your hands on him and just bury him into the dirt. But they didn't. He was trying to – it looked like Knapp was trying to overthink it. And then when he slapped his face, he's got a giant cast on his foot. I'm like, dude, if anything, I was more pissed off. I was like, dude, when he went down, I never want to celebrate anything, but when he went down, I'm just like, dude, leave Goolsby at left tackle the rest of the game. He's got a sprained ankle. It's Purdue. We don't need just sit out, ice it, go hang out. I was going to say eat popsicles, but I'm not saying that, Mike. So just go and relax. Let Goolsby play left tackle. Instead, he's out there so quick. I'm like, damn it. I wanted to see Goolsby play left tackle.
Is there 1 minute on this?
Go for it. And I'm done on O.
The coaches love Knapp. So have you ever been in a position in 29 years of coaching where you love a player's intangibles, work ethic, approach in the weight room, all of the intangible stuff where you love a player so much in that regard that you can't see the forest through the trees in terms of their actual performance? Is that a real thing that coaches might struggle with?
Oh, it's real. Oh yeah, it's real. Oh, without a doubt, it's real. Especially there's that guy. You like him. He's doing everything under the sun. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. You like him, and you're just. And it's hard. And I've mentioned this for years. On the shows together. Like it's hard to throw away reps. It just is. So what is this? His third game, 18 start now, right? It's hard to throw away 18 starts. But how do you not play Goolsby Lambert when Charles is back? And because Charles, we all believe, is the best guy. He's never played 2 games in a row, started 2 games in a row, yet he's the best guy. So you're assuming that's him. I would put him at left tackle just by the way he played in the Sun Bowl, the way he played against Ohio State, and 2 NFL defensive ends getting drafted. That should be your left tackle. And don't mess with Goolsby Lambert.
Moving on to defense. Sorry for the wait. We ran 8 minutes long.
That was fun, though. That was fun, man. Especially after last week. We haven't done any offense, so that was good.
Defense. So, real quick, hit the like and subscribe. Sunday nights, 6 o'clock Central. Tim Hyde and I will be here. I don't know how you want to kick the defense off versus the first half approach versus the second half approach. Tim, go. Whatever you got, brother.
I got it. All right. I love pulling out numbers here, so let's get hyped. Notre Dame fans, right? Click start right here. We'll cut this video in 2. Deep breath here, Mike, and everyone watching and listening. So after last week, we talked after the A&M. We talked about 2023, 2024. Notre Dame's pass efficiency defense was. Hold on, I just got the alert. Hold on, I'm gonna start over. Here we go. Hold on.
You're good.
It'd be nice if I had the computer plugged in. I just got an alert, low battery. It's like, oh God, I didn't even have it plugged in. So as we were talking, 2023, 2024, Notre Dame, #1 pass efficiency defense. Okay. After A&M, 2 games with Chris Ash as the D coordinator, they were 103rd. Out in Purdue, you think it would go up, right, Mike? You think it would go up. After Purdue, they are now 105. So after 3 games, they are 105. Total defense, 105. Scoring defense, 118. How the hell is Notre Dame defense in year 4 of the Freeman era? Technically the 5th year, right? He was DC for a year, 118. And then we always talk about havocs as we'll jump into that. Two numbers. Year 4 with Washington at D-line under Freeman. They are 121st in sacks per game. 121st. 132 in TFLs. So they have improved on the run. D has been solid. Yards per rush is solid. Third down D, they're, I think, in the top 30. Few numbers here and there, but some of these numbers, man, are just like insane. When you're up there with like Eastern Washington and some of these other programs, you got to be like, what the hell are we doing? So that's how I'm going to kick off defense.
Yeah, and you can't even account for like improvement in the run game because
I know.
Just a quick story. Like my senior year, we were awful. It's comparable numbers, right, in terms of versus the past, but we could stop the run. We played Derek Anderson in Oregon State. Derek and I had the same agent with Athletes First going in the league, so we worked out leading up to the combine and all this. I think, Tim, they threw the ball twice in the first half, and they went into the game like you guys couldn't cover anything. Like they had no agenda to run the ball whatsoever, right? So like if the pass defense is so bad, teams will throw out the run game entirely because everything is up for grabs as far as putting the ball in the air.
Yep.
But we've watched the film on Patreon now 2 weeks in a row. And this is the crazy thing. It is a coaching issue. It is. The scheme is not complicated, Tim. It's cover 3 and it's cover 1. It's man, more or less.
Yep.
It's high school level defense. This isn't like crazy. But where you and I think you've had a hard time like spitting this thought out like cohesively, but you're sitting there going, they repped it all spring, they repped it all camp, they've been meeting, they've been watching film. Like, why is there this, disconnect between like learning how to take your freaking eyes off a quarterback in zone, of course, and like read a route? That's
No,
it's mind blowing.
no,
That's just talking coverage. That's not getting into pressures, creating havoc. I mean, we're just focusing on the coverage piece.
no, exactly. And this was what I asked last week, and I would love for someone to ask this in the South Bend media. It's like, when you woke up, when you know what? I mean, let's even go back 8 hours, right? When you were standing, because remember that photo of him in the hallway and he's watching the celebration on TV, right? He's watching, you know what I'm talking about, right? That picture of Freeman in the hallway after the title game. Yeah, exactly. He's watching his alma mater celebrate, and there's like someone snapped a photo of him as he's in there watching it on the TV. So he's celebrating, or he's not celebrating, but his college he went to celebrate, and they just beat him, all that good stuff. He goes to bed that night. He wakes up the next morning. All you do is think about it every single play. It's the last game of the year. It's the title game. What could we have done? That, whatever. To do something against Jeremiah Smith, a 65-yard run to start the third quarter that takes you down to the 10 or 5, whatever the heck it was. He's thinking of all these things. And for whatever reason, what's come out of Marcus Freeman's head was, we just got to be a solid 4-man front, right, left end. Don't overthink. Don't have a solid, strong side, field side D end. We're just going to play right and left. Has that really been a good thing? I don't know. Because they have been Mike Elko instituted the Viper and the strong side D end. And they've been playing that from 2017 to 2024. They've had a solid, strong side and a stand-up in the boundary. And now all of a sudden, we're just going to play right and left. I don't know why all of a sudden that had to change. And then obviously, zone. I mean, they showed the numbers the other day, correct? They showed the numbers on NBC, it is true. People think it was man all the time. Al Golden mixed it all up a lot more than people think. But he's just not bringing the heat with it, right? He's not bringing that third down pressure. That's the key. That's where they've been a little bit way more passive this year. And I know I sent you a text or our group chat a text, just like, there's a lot of young dudes, man. I mean, yesterday there was like more freshmen playing than seniors. So when you have that as a coach, take a step back, man, and just be like, we're going to do smaller things. Whatever your game plan is, if I'm Freeman, cut it in half. We're going to do these couple things, and we're going to be great at it for the next 3 hours. And for whatever reason, the perfect quote is when Freeman on the touchdown drive, right, where they go 5 plays, 70 yards, before the second quarter finished up. And he's like, yeah, we called cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. And it's like, why? What the hell, man? It felt like a grab bag. And I think that's been the big issue. And we got a taste of that from Freeman's words.
I thought Freeman's post-game presser was incredibly telling. And I want to get really into the weeds with this tomorrow night with John on Patreon, Monday Night Raw.
Definitely.
But it was very telling. And I thought that was the most that Marcus could give us without throwing anybody under the bus, where he says, you start to panic. And he's like, we're calling cover 1, we're calling cover 2. And it's like, Coach Ash, it's not the coverage. Like, he's trying to find the right coverage. To your point, we're starting 2 true freshmen, Mark Zachary and Dallas Golden out there. He's trying to find the right coverage, and he's completely whiffing on the fact where you got to bring pressure, coach. And that's what Freeman was trying to say. It was like, if you don't heat up the quarterback, Tim, it doesn't matter what coverage you play. And same thing holds true. If you can heat up the quarterback, it doesn't matter what coverage you play. You could have Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, Ed Reed, and Troy Polamalu back there. They can't hold up for 5 seconds. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you've got to affect the quarterback. And in the second half, you saw that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, Coach Ash has this like weird reluctance to bring extra numbers. And that's where Freeman's whole approach to defense, it's all predicated on pressure. And I really want to get into this on the film. And Coach Al Washington has taken none of the arrows, right? It's all fire Ash, fire Ash, fire Ash. Remember when we were talking about during camp, we were going to do like, wider ends. That was kind of like a hot topic.
That's the hot buzzword. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got, at some points, whether it's Boubacar, whether it's Tui Alamaka, whether it's Logan Thomas, they're in a 2-point stance, outside shade. There's a snap. I can't wait to highlight it on the film. Logan Thomas is square. This is his feet, right? He's not staggered. They're square. They snap the ball. Then he staggers. Then he goes and he falls on his face. The lack of pass rush acumen, even with a 4-man rush, that's on Washington. And there's Instagram accounts you could follow that could teach these young kids how to rush the passer. And I'm not exaggerating, how to throw a move. But that is the fix, Coach Ash, is to bring pressure. You saw it in the second half, and lo and behold, it works.
Yeah,
so I do think over the weather delay, I think some conversations were had in terms of you've got to dial up some blitzes. You have to.
Oh, without a doubt. That's why, I know, that's all over social media. Like, was a change made? And it's just like, I'm of the opinion, I'm of the opinion of talent went over. They got to hang out for 2 hours. Notre Dame's just talented football players. They got a little angry, pissed off. They go out there in the second half. They're just vastly superior than Purdue. Purdue's sitting around for 2 hours. They didn't have the same energy. Mike, and whenever there's an upset brewing, it's all about that energy.
Oh,
they
yeah.
expended so much damn energy before the lightning and the rain hit. Man, they weren't going to recoup that, and they just go right out. That's what Jadarian goes 100 yards. No one's even around him. So he's gone. Offense is just going one after another touchdown. I was bummed for Minchie. I was like, damn it, Minchie, get a touchdown. I was hoping they get 70 just to look good. So, but you're right. It doesn't matter what the hell you call. We blitz 6 guys, and you just sit back and you can play cover 2. Who cares about this part of the zone? Because the quarterback's going to be feeling so much damn pressure. He's going to throw it up, take away the flats, something quick where someone's always at. So that's the great, Dick LeBeau and Dom Capers in the NFL, the old, the zone blitz gurus, with Dom Capers and Dick LeBeau when they built that whole scheme. That's all they did. Bring 6 guys, and they live in multiple cover 3s and cover 2s, and they never played man. So you don't have to play man and blitz, and it feels like they're grab bagging sometimes. Al Golden did that time. He would bring 6, and they would sit right there in cover 2, and they would have areas of the zones just given up. Quarterback ain't going to read it. You're running around just trying to find some quick outlet, cover the outlets. So that was obviously something Golden did, just awesome this time. So doesn't matter, but that goes back to my point. I just want to scream at Mike is Freeman wakes up after that Ohio State game. He wants to change all these things. Dude, you have talks. What the hell what are these conversations, right? What are these conversations that have taken place since, when was Ash hired? February 15th, whatever it was. I can't even remember. So between, let's just say Valentine's Day to, training camp, that's all you do is meet and prep and plan. So what are those blitzes and those calls that Freeman's reviewing with coordinators? He's doing that with Denbrock. All head coaches are always reviewing with your coordinators. So what is on that sheet that Freeman was frustrated with yesterday? Because he knows what's on the sheet. There's not like some little hidden sticky note that Chris is putting on there last second. So that's just what that fascinating dynamic is right now between that D and what's being called. And maybe I'm overthinking it, but I don't think I am, because they meet and you communicate and they know it's on the sheet. But yeah, you're right. Something's not clicking right now that's obvious with the way they're just playing.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, I think that Ash is scrolling through the coverages to Marcus's point. Cover 1, he was upset. Cover 1, cover 2, cover 3. And he's like, ostensibly you end up playing nothing. And this is with a young secondary, but I'm just telling you, if he's got a call sheet and there's blitzes on the left side of that piece of paper, it's like he's got an eye patch on. He's only looking at zone coverages. He's forgetting about the pressure thing. And I want to believe, based off of that second half performance, that it's you're going to see a change in terms of the coverage doesn't matter as much as the pressure does. That you have to affect the quarterback, and you saw that constantly with Golden. The one downside to bringing constant pressure is you can get gashed in the run game, but you just rally the ball and let your athletes play. But there's a lot to be excited about with the defense when you look at the personnel. Dallas Golden looks great, really well. Dallas Golden's taller than I thought he would be. Mark Zachary's coming along. There's something there, Tim, that that combination of KBA and Madden Ferriamo, there's something there.
Mike, I'm not even going to touch it. You and I will talk about this week together. But just watching athletes, right? You watch athletes, those two guys together are as good as you could have next to each other. Seriously, it's just two athletes. Exactly. J-Car Trinity League. They move different. They attack different. They read different. They could cut different. They do so many different things. I mean, you had Madden out there. You had Dallas Golden out there. You had Zachary out there. Tay Johnson didn't come off.
Hey, Johnson.
He's a redshirt freshman who wanted to play wide receiver at Ohio State in college, and now he's playing DB for Notre Dame. He did not come off the field. Look at all those young guys. I found it more fascinating who didn't play, because we have not heard. There's been no tweets, nothing from the media about, was Carson Hobbs injured? So how do you go? I would love to know, how do you go from Carson Hobbs playing, half the snaps against Miami and 100% against A&M to 0? Because that's fascinating. Another huge thing that really, really got me in this game is Christian Gray. Christian Gray played every single snap. Yeah. Every single snap in a blowout he's playing. So there's no corners on this roster. There's no corners, which is frightening. And all we were told in the spring, Cree Thomas had the Micah Gilbert treatment, poor guy, because we haven't seen him, just like we didn't see Micah Gilbert last year. So Thomas, we're not going to see him, I guess, this year. So we were told all spring, oh, he's awesome. Oh, the intel was there. Christian Gray played every freaking snap. So the depth of scares the hell out of me.
Christian got moved over in the boundary.
Yep.
Which was interesting. Another one that didn't play, and you thought he played pretty well against Texas A&M, was Jared Dawson. Didn't get a single snap.
So was he out with a sprained ankle? I wasn't even paying attention. I'm just watching the game and seeing who's out there. Elijah Hughes, same thing. 2 games, just a couple little tiny reps here and there. He's playing his tail off yesterday against Purdue. So really, really good physical point of attack guy. I will tell you one thing, out of all these guys, because I'm saving my talk about Madden and KVA, man. We're going to get into this, you and I, this week, talking about those two guys and how they look. Snead, not a lot of reps. Not a lot of reps at linebacker. I've always said it. I'll say it till I'm done. He should have always just been just a pass rusher, because he's unbelievable effort guy. But out of all the backups, one dude that popped, Cole Mullins. That dude just gets off the ball. That is a guy who I can't wait to break him down, because he just attacks. So that was very, very encouraging just to see a young guy, because we're not seeing any of these young D tackles Freeman's ever recruited. So to see him in there, I was very, very impressed with him.
Yeah, and I think Cole will end up being a bigger. He's going to be a Heinisch, a Donnie Heinisch type player, just bigger. Right. Yeah. I don't think he's ever going to be 320, but he's a disruptor. He's a slasher. Absolutely. What else defensively, Tim? Yeah, I think you mentioned Tay Johnson. I forgot to mention him. I think he led the team in snaps.
Seriously, love that guy. He's just, you and I keep talking about it. He's the one who had so much hype and the buzz during training camp, because that's that day the media, the few times the media saw him, they're like, man, this guy's just all over the place. So that is legit. He has just been outstanding. He should not come off the field. Stroman playing cover 3 is scary as hell. It just is. So him playing the thirds, he just doesn't help anybody. He stops his feet. The ball's on the hash. He's playing middle third on the hash. Well, who the hell's covering the 2/3 to the outside? Nobody.
Yeah.
And they've gotten strung out there a handful of times, the DBs, I've noticed. So that's been scary.
Are we to the point now? And again, we're talking about the young athletes. Like Stroman's a perfect example. And I'm going to try to weave in, this hot button word, execution. Yeah. And kids can't execute unless they're coached correctly. I'm sorry, right? The coaching comes before the execution. In terms of like what we saw against Texas A&M, you and I doing that defensive film together, like the eyes were terrible. But I talked about this last Monday night when people are looking for answers defensively. A combination of three things: execution, lack thereof, evaluation. Who can do what, Tim? Evaluation from that coaching staff. I love Junior Tuihalamaka, but I don't know if he's the guy to rush a passer on 3rd and long. I don't know if, like, consistently, he has his moments. He's a player you root for, but is he the guy? Lack of execution, lack of evaluation. And Tim, this is my question: too much rotation. Where it's like, do we need to see a Luke Kallick? Do we need to see a Jalen Sneed still? Or like, are we to a point where you have guys that move correctly, guys that Tay Johnson cover a ton of ground?
I mean, just
right. Like we got our dudes, and let's just rep. Let's simplify this scheme and rep it, and then we've got some guys that we can call upon if somebody twists an ankle. Are we over rotating?
Could be at some spots, but maybe it was less in this week. Just because perfect example is Madden.
Yeah, some injuries, yeah.
Madden's inside. Maybe it took him up. Maybe it just took him a couple weeks, even though he was here in the spring, just to keep getting that feel. He's been playing special teams the first 2 games. He's out there yesterday. He just looks like, yeah, you should not play anymore, right? He's definitely in the top rotation. He's filling, running, covering, doing some of those natural things as a true freshman. So Tay Johnson, Don Schuler, obviously Schuler missed the first half with the targeting, but those 2 are your safeties. Talich only played in dime, I believe. I did not, I'll go back and rewatch, but I don't remember seeing him out there with the main core. I could be wrong, but I did not notice him only in the dime package, where the week before he was playing a lot against A&M in the regular package. But Freeman kind of hinted about Tay during his press conference a week ago. He just brought him up, and when a head coach starts talking about someone, he's excited, and that dude's super excited. Some of these young guys, man, are super talented, which is scary as hell because you got to play so many young guys. There's not a lot of really good seniors at some of those spots, so that's a frightening thing. But the D line, let's talk real quick on the D line. It's 4 for 4, right? These 4 play, the next 4 play. I was always, you got Derek Landry and Greg Pauly playing when you played. If they were going to take a break, the one stayed in. You didn't just do wholesale changes. The depth could be different or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Pauly needs a break. Derek, you're in with the backup. So there's not 2 backups in. So you're just constantly interchanging like that. The last couple of years, the whole D line is just like a hockey game. You 4 go in, and it's a rotation like that. Where should the reps be that equal? Because I don't think the players are that equal. I think Rubio has shown without a doubt he should be playing a hell of a lot more football. Through 3 games, 97 should be out there a lot. He should be getting 75% of the snaps at D tackle. You can take and
Rubio is
but first and second down, he should be gobbling up those reps on first and second down.
And he's a key component as to why that run game has improved. Yeah, he's an absolute stud in there. This is where, again, you kind of got to dive into the film to watch it. But yeah, I think that going forward, if anybody's looking for some hope, I do think that a come to Jesus conversation was had with Coach Ash in terms of we've got to heat this quarterback up and you got to force it down his throat. Because again, Coach, I love all the coverages. I love all the variability, but none of it matters if you can't affect the quarterback. And you don't have to be playing a Peyton Manning. The guys are wide open. So, because you can't hold up. Coaching needs to get better. And then I think the other kind of, a little bit of glimpse of hope is there's a ton of young talent, man, and just guys that move the right way. And the production, which also matters, is starting to follow. The production's starting to follow.
And that's, I was thinking of the young talent is, even a Bryce Young. I know I've been critical, I've been critical of Bryce just because I just want to see more, and that's just an excitement thing because you do see obviously the talent, but you saw the sack because the blitz forced him to be true one-on-one, and he just beat that guy. It's not a 4-man rush. You bring some havoc, bring some chaos. The simple fact, like we were saying, those TFLs and sacks are the bottom of the country is just asinine right now. Like, that's Notre Dame football, and you're ranked in the 130s and just crazy havoc, destruction plays on defense. That's frustrating.
And you could even see it on that snap from Bryce where he did get home, the vertical rush where it's like, somebody sent me a clip of Josh Burnham coming off of the ball and then just like waiting. And it's like, I'm sure there was some element of quarterback contain / spy or whatever, but it's like, again, if you bring the appropriate number of guys, 5, 6, hopefully it lets people, it's just a completely different mindset on that given snap. Like, I'm getting after their ass,
Yeah. Yeah. And just some more movement, just let these guys just try and use some more of their athleticism on that edge. Traore obviously coming off the knee, he's done some good things, and then they used him as a spy, as just a stand, slow play the edge against A&M. You just got to let that guy just use his natural instincts and let him rush. Snead, like I said, needs to rush. He did the other day. He caused havoc just on a rush. That guy is physical as hell, man. Let that dude just go forward. Let him go forward. He's not allowed to go back, side to side, go forward. And he will just, he will be destructive.
No, and Ryan Roberts is with us. And I remember Ryan tweeting something last year about Snead, and that, like, the experiment's over. Like, he's not a will linebacker. He's never really, at least at this level, maybe in the NFL, a la Maris Leofau, like, he'll get better at reading out, reading and reacting. But at this point, he's too talented. He's too gifted. He's too explosive. Give him a simple job, put him on the edge, and let him rush the passer. Tim, as we wind this down, I have an answer, but what are you looking forward to most in terms of behind the paywall, breaking down? What are you excited to kind of sink your teeth into?
Oh, gee. Number one, I mean, just instantly the freshman, the freshman. I want to watch Zachary. I do. I mean, he's out there so much. I want to watch him a ton. And Tay Johnson played so much. How did Tay play from the first to that fourth quarter? Because to me, at least watching the TV copy, the same energy, the same speed. That's what I saw. I want to see how much he's around the ball. I'm really excited about that. Dallas Golden is just someone who, the fact that Zachary played for Leonard Moore and Christian Gray against A&M was like a little scary, right? Because he's playing both sides. And it's like, well, where's Dallas Golden? Then all of a sudden, with the ankle injury to the Bama transfer, Devontae Smith, Golden's thrown out there after Hobbs has played so damn much, which was like, okay, was that nerve wracking? Something happened with Hobbs? Did they bench him? Who the heck knows? But obviously, to see Dallas Golden play that much, he basically played every damn snap in the game. So does that mean he's ahead of Hobbs? Is Hobbs going to move back to a corner, which he's always played? How does that little dynamic go? I think D-line, we're going to just keep seeing what we see on the D-line. And then, like I said, I already got some notes. You and I are going to talk about 27 and 19 together. So I'm saving that.
Yeah. See, that's a unique little feature, and it's a thrill. I actually enjoy it. I cherish it, where Tim and I will be 11 o'clock at night, and he and I are breaking down that defensive film together. That's a ton of fun. I'm hoping you can get me a cut up of like your third and obvious pass rushes. I really want to, and I think I owe that to people behind that paywall, is to just really break down angles and any kind of tools, pass rush tools that these kids have in the bag. I really want to dive into that. But I think let's just wrap it up, Tim. Let's just wrap it up. Sunday nights, 6:00 Central. We will be here. We'll be live. Thanks for everybody that's joined. Thanks to everybody that's going to watch it into the work week. We're 1-2, Tim.
Yes. Arkansas. Who would have thought going into Arkansas is like the Super Bowl? Like we were saying before the show, I think Arkansas was 14th or something like that in the SEC last year, right? They were the bottom. Their head coach is on the chopping block. They win a few games. They blow the Memphis game. I mean, those guys are right across the street from each other there on the highway, those cities. So how in the heck does that thing take place?
Early kickoff. I was thinking about going to the game. It's early. That's 11 o'clock kickoff. But yeah, to your point, all of these games to follow are the Super Bowl. I think we can do it. I think the defense I know it can improve. Will it is a huge question, but this is not the way any of us saw it drawn up, Tim.
No, I mean,
that the offense and a young quarterback is going to be the strength of the team.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's the exact opposite, but it's the opposite because it's like the running backs are obviously elite as they are. Carr just keep studying, doing what he's doing, evolve from there, keep playing good football, delivering the rock around, get it to the studs, which they have a few. And they have an NFL tight end and an NFL boundary wide receiver. Utilize those guys. Yeah, but who would have thought going into this game, it's, can you hold them under 35? And then Denver, that's what I'm saying, the pressure's on Denbrock. The amount of pressure on that offense to be really, really good. They can't just score 17 and expect to win unless it's just, they force 8 turnovers. But the quarterback at Arkansas is like the number one total offensive guy, so it's going to be a war. Yeah. He's good. The place is going to be rocking. It's Notre Dame's first trip ever there. That place is going to be a zoo, even though it's a early kickoff. The atmosphere is going to be great. I hope Arkansas is down in the dumps. I do. I hope they're down in the dumps. Coach is on the chopping block. Players are all upset, but we know it's not. It's Notre Dame, right? No one's going to just hang out because it's Notre Dame. They're going to be fired up, ready to go send Notre Dame to 1-3. So it's going to be a hell of a football game.
Looking forward to it. We'll see everybody tomorrow night, Monday Night Raw, over there on Patreon. Tim, looking forward to jumping in the film. Good job. Let's get out of here, brother.
Yes. Thank you, guys.